Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we dive into one of the juiciest political dramas unfolding on the South African stage, a showdown that blends courtroom battles, fiery press statements, and a whole lot of election season tension. We're talking about the uMkhonto weSizwe party's explosive demand for the resignation of Independent Electoral Commissioner Janet Love, all sparked by the political comeback saga of none other than former President Jacob Zuma. Now, for those of you who haven't been following every twist and turn, here's the short version, and I promise, we'll get to the spicier long version in a moment. A few months back, the IEC ruled that Jacob Zuma couldn't stand as a candidate for the MK party in the upcoming May 29, 2024, general elections. The decision was tied to his previous legal troubles, a clear red flag in the IEC's eyes. But the MK party wasn't having it. They took the matter to the Electoral Court, and in a dramatic reversal, the court sided with Zuma, reinstating his eligibility. Now that might sound like just another day in politics, but here's where it gets explosive. The MK party claims that this wasn't just a legal disagreement, they say it was a deliberate, biased attempt to block Zuma, and they've zeroed in on Janet Love as the person responsible. In a statement issued on April 12, the MK party didn't mince words. They accused Love of blatant bias, warning that her continued presence in the IEC undermines public trust just weeks before South Africans head to the polls. According to the MK party, Love's decision-making process wasn't just flawed, it was politically motivated. And in their view, once an electoral official's impartiality is in doubt, the whole system starts to crumble. As one MK spokesperson put it, is it possible for the public to have faith in an electoral body that shows such obvious bias? Their answer is no. Their solution? Janet Love must resign immediately. Of course, this is South African politics, nothing happens in a vacuum. The MK party's attack on Love has set off a nationwide debate. On one side, you've got supporters who see this as a crucial stand for electoral integrity, saying, if we let this slide, we are basically saying the IEC can pick and choose who runs for office. On the other side, critics argue the MK party is simply stirring the pot to distract from its own internal issues and the uphill battle it faces to build a strong national presence. And let's be honest, the MK party has been making headlines at a rate that would make even the most seasoned PR strategist nervous. Between high-profile rallies, fiery speeches from Zuma, and repeated clashes with political rivals, this is a party that thrives on confrontation. Calling for the resignation of an IEC commissioner? That's right in their wheelhouse. Janet Love, for her part, hasn't been rushing to the nearest microphone to respond. But make no mistake, the pressure on the IEC is mounting. With elections less than 2 months away, the Commission is now in a delicate position. If they defend Love too strongly, they risk being seen as dismissive of genuine public concerns. If they distance themselves, they may appear to be admitting fault. It's a political tightrope, and every step is being watched. What makes this whole saga even more intriguing is the history between Zuma and South Africa's electoral bodies. Zuma has always been a lightning rod for controversy, whether in courtrooms, parliament, or campaign rallies. His critics call him a symbol of corruption, his supporters call him a political survivor who's been unfairly targeted. When the IEC initially barred him from running, many saw it as just another chapter in a long-running political battle. But the court's reversal has given Zuma's camp fresh ammunition to claim vindication, and the MK party is wasting no time using that to maximum effect. And there's another layer here, the public perception of the IEC itself. For decades, South Africa's elections have been seen as a benchmark for transparency in Africa. But in recent years, accusations of bias and political interference have started creeping in. This fight over Janet Love could become a defining moment for the Commission's reputation. If they weather the storm and prove impartiality, they may come out stronger. But if the perception of bias sticks, the damage could linger far beyond the 2024 elections. The MK party's tactics here are classic high-pressure politics: identify a weak point, hammer it repeatedly, and force your opponent to either fight back or fold. Whether you agree with them or not, they've succeeded in putting Janet Love, and by extension, the IEC, at the center of the national conversation. And in politics, getting people to talk about your issue is half the battle. Of course, the question on everyone's mind is, will Janet Love actually resign? Historically, IEC commissioners don't bow to political pressure easily. But politics is a game of momentum, and right now the MK party is keeping the story alive. Each day the controversy makes headlines, the more it chips away at public confidence. And remember, elections aren't just about votes, they're about legitimacy. If a large portion of the public believes the referee is biased, it casts a shadow over the whole match. Now, a quick reality check: some analysts believe this is less about Love personally and more about the MK party trying to position itself as the defender of the people's vote ahead of the election. If that's the case, the call for her resignation might be a strategic move rather than a genuine expectation. Either way, it's working, because here we are, talking about it. The irony. The controversy could actually boost voter turnout. When people think the system is under threat, they're more likely to show up at the polls to protect their vote. And with Zuma back in the race, the MK party's base will be fired up. Whether that helps them gain significant seats is another story, but it definitely ensures they'll be a factor in the election narrative. So, what happens next? The IEC will have to tread carefully. They'll need to reaffirm their commitment to impartiality without appearing to bend to political pressure. The MK party will keep pushing the issue, because every headline is free publicity. And for the rest of us, it's another reminder that South African politics is never short on drama, especially when Jacob Zuma's name is involved. One thing is certain: as May 29th approaches, the fight over Janet Love's position is going to be one of the subplots to watch. It's part legal battle, part PR war, and part theater. And in true South African fashion, it's all playing out in full view of the public. That's all for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the latest political storm, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Do you think Janet Love should resign, or is the MK party just playing politics? Your thoughts could be the start of the next big debate. See you next time.